Australian government reintroduces ankle monitors and curfews for former immigration detainees. In response to a recent High Court ruling, the Australian government is taking measures to reintroduce ankle monitors and curfews for former immigration detainees. This move highlights the ongoing challenges Australia faces in balancing community safety with legal standards on detention and monitoring practices. Despite the ruling that deemed these measures unlawful, the government aims to skirt the decision by revising legislation. Topics discussed in today's video update. High Court ruling on immigration detainees. Introduction of new legislation by the government. Conditions for reimposing ankle monitors and curfews. And we'll also talk about the political responses and implications for Australian policy. Don't miss out on authentic immigration updates. Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, and share our videos with your friends and family on Facebook, WhatsApp, and X. Let's resume the video with the background of this case. High Court ruling on Australian immigration detainees. The issue of immigration detention has been a prominent topic in Australia politics, especially following a recent High Court decision. The court ruled that imposing ankle monitors and curfews on former immigration detainees was unlawful, calling into question the country's handling of Australia illegal migration cases. This decision prompted the federal government to rush through new legislation aimed at reinstating these conditions in a way that bypasses the court's ruling. The decision initially led to the release of 215 immigration detainees, with 126 of them facing a strict curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and 143 required to wear ankle monitors. With new legislation, the government aims to continue subjecting former detainees to these conditions when deemed necessary to ensure community safety. New legislation, reintroducing monitoring conditions. The revised legislation grants the Home Affairs Minister the authority to impose ankle monitors and curfews on former detainees if it is determined that they pose a substantial risk of committing a serious offence. According to Tony Burke, the Minister for Home Affairs, these measures are not intended to be punitive, but rather to protect the community. Previously, these monitoring measures were applied automatically, with exceptions made only if the Minister decided otherwise. Now, they will be selectively applied based on risk assessments, allowing the government to enforce stricter monitoring of individuals it considers high risk, even after the High Court ruling. Key considerations in Australia's immigration policy. The government's actions underscore a strong focus on community protection in Australian immigration detainees policy, but they also raise several key issues. 1. Legal complications. The government is introducing legislation that attempts to bypass the High Court ruling, which complicates the legal landscape surrounding Australia illegal migration. Critics argue that this move challenges the fundamental legal principles upheld by the court. 2. Criteria for substantial risk. Under the new law, detainees can be required to wear ankle monitors or adhere to curfews if they are deemed to pose a substantial risk to the community. However, the criteria used to assess this risk remain a matter of debate, raising concerns about transparency and consistency. 3. Impact on former detainees. These measures will directly affect the daily lives of former detainees, impacting their freedom of movement and ability to reintegrate into society. This approach also intensifies scrutiny on these individuals, which may carry psychological and social consequences. 4. Political response and public sentiment. The decision has sparked significant debate in Australia politics. While some view it as a necessary step to protect public safety, others see it as a controversial measure that undermines the High Court's authority. The discussion reflects the tension between maintaining security and respecting legal standards for those who have already served detention. Conclusion. The reintroduction of ankle monitors and curfews for former immigration detainees in Australia marks the significant shift in the country's approach to managing high-risk individuals released from detention. As the government navigates the legal challenges posed by the High Court ruling, the emphasis remains on community safety and stringent monitoring practices. For policymakers, the focus will be on finding a balance between enforcing immigration control and upholding the legal protections granted by Australia's judicial system. As this debate continues, the impact on detainees and the legal landscape surrounding Australia immigration policies will remain areas of close scrutiny. We've finished our video. Please share your opinion with us in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's update.